I wanted to quote something from Bungie from the latest TWAB about the recent backlash with Lightfall's not so cohesive story. We know there are still plenty of questions still left unanswered at the end of Lightfall's campaign that you're eagerly awaiting answers to. The events of Season of Defiance will get into full swing this week, but we know this is just the beginning of the next year of storytelling that will connect the events of Lightfall in the final shape. We can't wait for the community to learn more about the Witness origins, its objective, and the ways we can thrall it and its disciples throughout Season of the Deep and Season 22 and 23. So, with that already quote stated from Bungie, Lightfall's story is going to be expanding throughout Year 6. So, technically, your campaign that you completed with this expansion is not so complete. Technically, until Season 23 is over, the Lightfall story is still continuing. So, you can not say that you finished the Lightfall campaign, because basically Year 6 is the Lightfall story still. So with this, with all the seasons that it will be building up to final shape, I wanted to take time to make a narrative story, like preview technically, of what's going to happen next. Really for the cohesive story narrative that we are likely going to get that will help us answer the big questions like what is the Veil, the origins of Neomuna really, just some more big story plots that we didn't get any answers to. So we were going to break down Season 20 and 21 really. We don't have a lot of information. Again, this is a little bit more of a speculation sort of video, but at the same time, I'm going to let you know my thoughts on those two seasons because at least we have names and there will be a bit more, I would say, accurate. And then Season 22 and 23 is a sort of a season those seasons where we can't really give correct answers, as we really don't know what Bungie's planning for those seasons. But let's just get right into it. Actually, before that, I want to say thank you to all of my community, as we are so close to 20k. We have literally gained over 1,000 subscribers in one day yesterday. Thank you for so much support. We are about 600 subs until 20k. I want to try to do a big video, maybe live stream if you guys want me to, for the 20k. So if you want to subscribe, that would mean a lot. But none of that, let's get right into it. Season of Defiance really gives our next full swing of narrative, being a total of 5 weeks long of a narrative story. It's really about the aftermath of Lightfall. We partnering up with Marasov, the Amanda from the Hangar, Mithrax, Devram, all those type of people, even the Crow. It's going to be us, going in, battling the Shadow Legion in the EDZ, really getting survivors, really all that type of stuff that you could expect of like an aftermath type of season. So with this season, we can't really expect a lot of our questions with the, Lightfall campaign to be answered. That's what I always say. The first season of the year is really kicking in the narrative. We still have some of the narrative from, again, Neomuna. We have all of the raid. We have a lot of the post-campaign stuff. We might get a lot of post-raid stuff. We're learning a lot about, the Cloud Traders, Neomuna, as we speak. So with an expansion launching with the season, I wouldn't expect too much to be answered. However, though, I can see some, more information from Mara and maybe even development between the Crow, Amanda, and Mara. I feel like those three characters, I know Amanda and the Crow have been going through a lot. There's a lot of dialogue already in about how, like, Amanda might not be able to forgive Crow because he looks like Aldrin, because he was Aldrin, who killed Cade, and Amanda loved Cade. So there's a lot of development that can be based around here, and really maybe acceptance and more stuff like that. So I could see this being around a Season of the Risen type of season where it's more about accepting, allies that you would never see them as an ally, and more just, figuring out how to, I wouldn't say, win because we lost already, but like get back at, how to, fight back really. Now, Season of the Deep will be launching in May, which will be the next season to follow up, and this is really where we can see the kickstart for all of the points that was made in Lightfall, all those, not so cohesive points finally be answered, and really is going to be the stepping mark for the final shape. If you didn't know, Season of the Haunted with Witch Queen's year, Season of the Chosen with Beyond Light's year, that second season of the year is really when everything starts to just go out. Like we are right there. We're starting to get into there even further, and we're finally getting questions answered. It is a great season usually, and with the name Season of the Deep, I can't expect more than Savathun or a lot of at least a Hive ally like Finch and more of the hive to be explained. Now, interesting enough, if you haven't done the Winterbite Exotic Lave quest yet, there is a dialogue section where there's an enemy of the witness on the location known as Titan. Now, Titan was a location back with the Red War, and it was there until Beyond Light literally ripped it off and the DCV was existed. The Titan location was basically a swamp area filled with hive and some fallen, and it was a great area overall. It was basically like a whole ocean, and then there was like arcologies that were destroyed, and it was fun going in there as it was a great location overall in the Red War campaign. With teases already happening for Titan, as we know that when a tease with the Nephi stronghold happened with the Witch Queen, that literally basically became the destination that we are being and playing in today. So could Titan be linked to being a location next season, as it could have high, excessive amounts of hive in it, and it looks like Season of the Deep is nonetheless going to be confirmed to be a hive season. I could likely see that, and maybe some of the answers being, some of the questions in Lightfall being answered, being like how a disciple was made, maybe what was Savathun's, pushback that pushed the witness out? What was the Savathun solution to, taking out the witness? This could be a lot of questions being answered, and I feel like I know Amaro hates our guts, but what does Amaro hate more, our guts or the witness's guts? Could we see Amaro actually helping us, reviving Savathun, and actually being the first ally we could see in the final shape, and maybe even Xetho Wrath being a part of that with the Worm Gods? That's what I think, and I think Season of the Deep is really a season that I'm more hyped for. I cannot wait to see how that season rolls out. Now, the next two seasons, Season 22 and 23, are really hard to get into too much because we don't know anything about them. But what I can say already about Season 22 and 23 is that it's going to be really the next big kickstart for the narrative. Like this, we had the kickstart with, of course, last. I keep saying kickstart today, but all the seasons are really kickstarters if you really think about it. But Season 22 and 23 will heavily focus even more towards the final shape expansion. I could see the middle season of this year 6 could be where we finally get the final shape, question answered. The middle season or the last season. However, I feel like it would be great for people to really understand that guess what happens when Season 22 launches? The final shape is revealed. They have a Vidoc and everything, and they talk about the next expansion, and usually it's a season right after the second season of the year. So once Season of the Deep is over, we will finally be in Season 22, and a live stream will occur, revealing the final shape expansion and probably a little bit of the future. So could we see the final shape being, answered? A lot of those, hints to what the final shape will be, because we already know what the location is at that time. There's a lot of things that could happen during Season 22 that could really, hit and appear. In terms of what the plot could be, I can't really say too much as I don't know what the plot could be. I don't really know in that season. Let me know your thoughts on it. But with Season 23 in more particular, I could definitely see a season focusing on Neomuna. We have barely explored Neomuna in the Cloud Arc, and I know people are going to say, well, that's just it, or they won't really explain too much. I feel like the last season of the year should really explain a lot of the questions about Neomuna. We haven't really had a season on the latest expansion in that year, but I think Neomuna needs a season. It needs a season to really focus on a lot of the problems that Lightfall had with its story in Neomuna and fix it. And with the last season really coming out to be a close, I could see Bungie really planning to show off, how Neomuna was created, how really what the Veil is, I hope, and stuff like that. However, I could see this actually be in Season 22 too, and then Season 23 is really the preparation for everything. The final shape, the witness doing what it is, and really the whole world being attacked. Similar to Season of Arrivals, like that stake. So my plan of Year 6 narrative is that Season 20 will be Season of Defiance, really focusing on surviving, the apocalyptic event that we just transpired and just dealt with. Really getting survivors, more of we have each other type of things now that the Traveler's gone. Season 21 will really focus on Season of the Deep, how, Savathun might be an ally that we might need to be partnered up with, and really someone who can help us figure out what's going on. Season 22 could focus on Neomuna or some location that could really, tell us, what has been going on with the final shape in a way, what is going to happen when everything's coming together, really what the veil is, everything like that. And then season 23 will focus on more, that preparation, season of arrivals, but even at like a number 10, on intensity level. The last season before the Light and Dark saga is over, with the final shape right after that. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. This is my massive narrative preview for year 6. I hope a lot of it happens. I believe the first 2 seasons are kind of likely more to happen, as the names have already been revealed. I wish they revealed the names for us already now. But those names for those first 2 seasons look likely that my speculations are going to be accurate, but the next 2 seasons are kind of vague, and we'll have to wait and see till later in the year to figure out what those are. But it's very interesting. I hope you guys are hyped for year 6. Year 6 really needs to kickstart. I keep saying kickstart today, but really, help out with what the narrative's problems happened with Lightfall and really fix a lot of it and, make the narrative for Lightfall the best narrative. But it's going to be weird again. Lightfall's story is going to be basically a year long, which is kind of weird. Hopefully the seasons don't, be a disappointment, because that would be even a worse problem. But time will tell. I can't wait to see you there. See you guys in the next video.